Hello, sexy people. Thanks for listening. I'm Jenny. I'm a life coach. And today I am talking about solopreneurship for empaths and INFJs. Um, Solopreneurship is when you're an entrepreneur and you have one employee who is you. And I've been obsessed with this concept ever since reading The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I did a whole adaptation on what that looks like for empaths. The article is on my website if you want to check it out. It's called The 4-Hour Workweek for Empaths. Um, but I think this is something a lot of empaths dream about is working for themselves because real jobs suck. We can't effectively manage our energy levels at real jobs. Um, we can't control who's coming into our energy field at real jobs. Um, we're overworked, we're underpaid, like the culture and society around jobs is not humans were not designed to work the way that we're working. Um, and empaths are so gifted and we have important gifts to share with the world and we deserve to get paid for those gifts. And we also have a really hard time valuing our work enough to ask to get paid for it. So, so I want to just do kind of an introduction to solopreneurship here for empaths. The human body did not evolve over hundreds of thousands of years, so we could sit in sterile cubicles all day. We're not supposed to sit at a desk for 8 hours a day. It's bad for our bodies. Um, and there is nothing anyone should love doing for 8 hours a day. If you like painting and you do it for 8 hours a day, you're probably not going to like painting anymore. Um, you're going to get burnt out on the things that you actually like if you have to do them all day, every day. So this is a problem, even if we find jobs doing things we actually like and value, which is a struggle by itself, we can still get burnt out on it when we don't have control over our schedules. 40 hours a day is too much. I'm sorry, a week. 40 hours a week is too much to spend at a job. Humans are really only designed to work about 4 hours a day. And so solopreneurship is a possible answer when you can make it work. Um, the problem is that you can't really force anything to work. You can't really force anything to work. So it's a challenge, if you can see this better life that you want for yourself and then figuring out how to get there. When the more you try to force it, it seems like the further away it gets. Um, a lot of entrepreneurs also have an imbalanced pie of life. Your pie of life has different slices for different things, your relationships, rest and recreation, your career. And a lot of entrepreneurs treat their career like it is the entire pie. And it's coming at the cost of a healthy, balanced life and those other priorities. So for empaths, our career cannot come at the cost of our other priorities. It is there to benefit our other priorities. It needs to be for the benefit of those other priorities. Success is not achievement in career or finances. For us, it's having balance in all of those things, all of those areas of life. And so when you do successfully create a business, very often you end up working for it instead of making it work for you. A struggling business is kind of like a gambling addiction because you get, a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. It's never really enough to sustain you, but it is enough to keep you, waiting for that next hit of income. Um, we also tend to treat our businesses the same way we were treated. We tend to have high, unrealistic expectations of our businesses because we have or had high, unrealistic expectations of ourselves. And so we can have very negative, cynical views of our businesses. Um, and you really have to think of your business like it has a soul. and you have to treat it like it has a soul. And if you're thinking negatively about it or cynical about it or angry at it because it's not making you enough money, you're mistreating your business. Um, so you have to be someone who you would want to work for. You have to stop abusing yourself and you have to stop abusing your business. A lot of empaths also avoid marketing ourselves because it feels manipulative. And the truth is, a lot of marketing out there is manipulative. Um, we have trouble selling things that matter to us. Um, and and a lot of businesses start out in feminine energy and then switch to masculine. So, what I mean by this is a lot of businesses start out where, you're focused on creativity, you're focused on innovation, you're focused on how to help people. But then once it starts generating income, then the focus becomes on how do I drive more sales? How do I drive more clicks? How do I drive more conversions? And it switches into a masculine energy business when those clicks, those conversions, those sales are supposed to be a side effect of the feminine energy focus. Um, so, success, like happiness, cannot be pursued, it must ensue. There's a really great quote by Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor, and he wrote about what patterns he saw among the survivors, and and this is a quote from him: "Success, like happiness, cannot be pursued; it must ensue, and it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a cause greater than one's self." So you really have to let go of the outcome, trust that that seed is going to grow if it is supposed to grow. If the ground is fertile enough to receive that seed, it will grow. And if it doesn't grow, then it's not supposed to grow. So you are only responsible for half. The universe is responsible for the other half. And you can't treat success like a goal. You have to treat it like a side effect. You cannot will something into success. Will is not enough. The ground has to be fertile, and that is not something you have control over. Um, you're not in control of, what the world is ready for or not. So sometimes the market just isn't there yet. Your audience will tell you. And if no one is buying your product, then listen to your audience. You're going to, it's more like co creating with your audience than it is to make something that you want to make and then convincing them to buy it. It's more like a co creation process. Um, and you also have to love that process, or you're going to have a bad time and it's not going to be sustainable. You have to enjoy the process and have fun with the process and not be focused on the end goal. Um, someone someone with less intelligence is more successful than you because they aren't smart enough to doubt themselves. We look around at all these so-called successful people and it's very confusing because we know we could make a better product or we know that we have a greater depth of knowledge and it doesn't make sense why they're more successful than us but it's because they're not smart enough to doubt themselves. Okay, success is not correlated to how smart or how gifted you are. It's correlated to how much you do or do not doubt yourself. Um, so, in a masculine energy business, success is pursued. You're focused on what you're creating, um, and who you need to sell it to. It's a finite game. It's about the finish line. You're focused on one slice of the pie, the business slice of the pie. You're focused on money, rewards, and results. You win by being better than everyone else. Deadlines matter. There's a sense of hard work. There's a focus on revenue. There's a need to know how you're going to make everything happen. You work for your business. There's a focus on being assertive, achievement, and completion. There's a need to judge and to measure and to know answers. And too much masculine energy leads to burnout. and it would feel like turning your hobby into a job. In a feminine energy business, success ensues. There's focused on the why. You're focused on the why instead of the what. This changes your entire delivery energy. It's a infinite game. It's about the journey. It's not about the finish line. There's a focus on the whole pie and having work-life balance. There's a focus on freedom, on meaning, on the energy and intention behind things. You win by being different than everyone else, not better. Time becomes irrelevant. There is a sense of play. You're focused on the users instead of the revenue. The revenue is a side effect of focusing on meeting the user's wants and needs. There is a trust that you don't need to know how because it will reveal itself. Your business works for you. The focus is on receptivity and ease and nurturing. There is a letting go and a comfort with the unknown, but too much feminine energy leads to inaction. So you do need a balance of both. So if you're trying to figure out, how to achieve the solopreneurship dream, step one is to thrive. Your number one job is to be happy and healthy because that is the energy you need to be infusing into your business. You don't have to be like living in nirvana, and having no problems, but you need to be healthy and happy enough. Step two is to look for patterns. This is how we collect ideas. This is how we collect ingredients for whatever recipe we're going to end up making. Step three is to start building an audience. It's a good goal to build an email list to try to get to 1,000 email subscribers. At that point, you're going to be ready to start selling things. But we focus on trying to sell right away, and then we don't have an audience to sell to, and then we get discouraged and we give up because we're trying to sell too early. You can't just, it's very difficult. It's okay to try to sell things, but you can't expect to sell things immediately. Step one is to thrive, be happy and healthy. Step two is to look for patterns, collect inspiration, collect ingredients. Step three is to start building your audience. You do that by offering things for free samples until you hit 1,000 subscribers. And whatever you're giving away for free should not cost you time or money. It should be something passive, like a download, or like an email course, because it's something you can make and then not spend any more time on, and just keep reselling. Um, but until you get to that point, you're just collecting data. What is helpful to people? What are people engaging with? Instead of deciding what you need people to engage with and convincing them to buy it. So your homework is not to figure out what you're going to sell, but who and how you're going to help people. So I want you to fill in the blanks. I help blank to blank. And then start writing ideas of how you could do that. Focus on writing 100 bad ideas. Don't focus on coming up with one good idea. Try to write 100 bad ideas. And if you can think of like a super cool business title, like normal people have like CEO, or owner, but you could be like creative rebel, or something like that. So we're going to just start brainstorming right now. So number one, fill in the blank. I help blank to blank. Then write 100 bad ideas for how you could do that. And then write a badass job title. That's everything I have for today. Thanks for listening. If you want coaching or more resources, check out the links in my description. Bye, everybody.